In her bedroom, Jennifer set the candle on the dresser and stripped out of the costume she'd worn to the fete. A black trench coat over red long underwear, topped off with a homemade pair of devil's horns. Her nightgown waited for her, hanging on the back of the door. Once in bed, she drank her chamomile tea and watched the candlelight dance across the ceiling. The tea went down warm. This had been her routine going on 3 years now, and she thought it had been wise not to break it tonight. When your world falls apart, cling to the familiar. She thought of all the other residents of Wayward Pines. They'd be going through some version of this, questioning all they'd been told, coming to terms with how grievously they'd been wronged. What would tomorrow bring? The window beside her bed was cracked, a stream of chill night air trickling in. She kept her room cold by choice, loving the feel of sleeping in a freezing room under a mountain of blankets. Through the glass, it was absolutely dark. The crickets had gone silent. She set her mug of tea on the bedside table and pulled the blankets up over her legs. There was only a half-inch left of the candle on her dresser, and she didn't really want to be in total darkness just yet. Let it burn out on its own. She shut her eyes. Felt like she was falling. So many thoughts, so much fear pressing in. A tangible weight. Just sleep. She thought of Teddy. This last year, she'd found herself remembering his smell, his tone of voice, what his hands had felt like on her body. Far clearer than her memory of his face. She was forgetting what he looked like. Somewhere out in the darkness, a man began to scream. Jennifer straightened. She'd never heard screaming like this. Horror and disbelief and incomprehensible agony all compressed into a single outburst that seemed to go on and on and on. This was the sound of someone being killed. Had they gone ahead with Kate and Harold's execution anyway? The screaming stopped like a spigot had been turned off. Jennifer looked down. She was on her feet, standing on the cold hardwood floor. She went to the window, raised it several inches higher. Cold flooded in. Someone shouted inside a house nearby. A door slammed. Somebody sprinted through the alley. Another scream echoed through the valley, but this one was different. It was the same sound that monster had made inside the sheriff's Bronco. A god-awful, inhuman shriek. Other screams answered, as a strong, pungent smell, like rotten musk, pushed into the bedroom, riding on the breeze. A low, throaty growl started down in her garden. Jennifer closed her window and threw the lock. She stumbled back, and as she sat down on the mattress, something came through the living room window downstairs. Jennifer jerked her head toward the door. The candle flame on the dresser winked out. She let out a gasp. The room was pitch black, her hand invisible in front of her face. She jumped to her feet and staggered toward the bedroom door, banged her knee on a hope chest at the foot of the bed, but managed to stay on her feet. She reached the door, heard the steps creaking as something came up the staircase. Jennifer eased the door shut and felt around for the lock. It clicked into the housing. Whatever had broken into her house was now out in the hallway, the floorboards groaning under its weight. More noise downstairs. Clicks and screeches filling the house. She got down on her hands and knees and crawled across the floor as the footsteps outside her door drew closer. Flattening herself, she squeezed under the bed, her heart pounding against the dusty hardwood floor. She could hear more of them climbing the stairs. The door to her bedroom exploded off the hinges. The footsteps of whatever entered her bedroom made a clicking sound on the hardwood, like claws or talons.